Hey guys, thank you for joining. It's good to see you today. We're going to be talking about the city that you are from. So please go ahead and message in the live chat. Send me a message in the live chat letting me know what city you're from or what country you're from. I'd love to know so that we can talk about your city in this lesson. So, like always, please remember to write down any notes or any new vocabulary that you learn. Any tips that I give you or any new phrases, write them down. Feel free to ask me questions in the live chat as well. And make sure to form some example sentences with any of the new phrases that you learn. All right. And as always, make sure to rewatch this video in a few days to revise the lesson and any new things that you learn. Another thing I want to share with you guys is I've got 2 links in the description box. So if you enjoyed this lesson and you want to know more about my services, please go ahead and click on these links that I have provided. The first one is how to speak English confidently. I know a lot of my students struggle with this and a lot of my followers send me messages asking how to speak English confidently. So it's a free download guide that walks you through how to speak English confidently and some really great tips on how you can become a more confident English speaker. The second link I've got is if you are looking to broaden your career opportunities and you want to work overseas or you want to work for an international company, I teach you the steps that you need to take in order to be able to work for an international company. So go ahead and check out those links if you enjoyed this video. All right, let's get started. So, first thing I want us to talk about is adjectives related to cities. So what cities come to mind when you think of these adjectives? First one that we've got is bustling. So the word bustling here, it's a silent T. So I just want you guys to pay attention to that. So it's not bustling, it's bustling. All right. And the word that has a similar meaning is fast-paced. So a fast-paced city. All right, so think of maybe Sao Paulo in Brazil, a very fast-paced, bustling city. People are always on the go. They're always rushing to get places. There's a lot of different offices and headquarters and big companies. All right, a vibrant or lively city, a city that is full of energy, it's full of life. Maybe we could think of Sydney in Australia. It's a very vibrant city. There's beaches, beautiful weather. People are out having a great time. Polluted cities, so cities that have a lot of pollution, they can often be dirty cities. And sometimes people describe New York as a polluted city. So although it's a very popular city, it's also known to be very dirty. And it's filled with a lot of rats and mice as well. So the next one that we've got is crowded, so full of people, a compact city, right? Lots of people, dense populations there, so it's a crowded city. We've got ancient or historical cities. Think of Rome maybe, right? Very ancient city known for its history. Picturesque cities, so cities that are so beautiful, they look like they have been taken from a book, or they are so beautiful you can take a picture of them. Maybe I think of places in Switzerland. I always see very picturesque photos of Switzerland. I've never been there, but it really does look picturesque. Touristy cities, the first city that comes to my mind is Paris. So it comes from the word tourist. Touristy cities, cities where a lot of tourists go there, a lot of people travel there, and they like to visit that city. Iconic cities, famous cities, world famous cities, right? They're known all around the world, iconic cities, okay? So we've got, again, we could probably use New York, maybe Tokyo. So iconic cities, Dubai maybe. What about your city? Do any of these adjectives fit your city? Can you describe your city using any of these? Is your city bustling? Is it fast-paced, Maybe it's slow paced, the opposite. Is it lively? Is it crowded? Is it touristy? Let us know. All right, so some vocabulary and conversation starters to talk about systems within your city. So the reason that I wanted to do this video and focus on this topic is because a lot of my students, they travel overseas for work. And when they're traveling, something that they always ask me is, oh, how can I talk about my city? Like if they start to ask me about where I'm from, what are some of the things I can talk about? So these are some really great words that you might need to use. And there are also some really good conversation starters that you can talk about. So talking about the sanitation in your city, talking about the land use. Is the land used for mining? Is it used for agriculture to grow things? What about the housing? Is there public housing? So public housing is when the government helps lower income earners to live in a house or in an apartment. Sometimes they offer them an apartment for free, or maybe they give them a discounted price for a house that they're renting. So that's public housing. It's assisted government support to people. Is there a lot of apartment buildings? Is there more studios? Or is it more of a place where there's a lot of houses? What about the transportation? Do you use trams? Do you use buses? What about trains or ferries maybe? Not as common, but still possible in some cities. What about transportation? Sorry, we already said that. What about utilities? All right, is there different types of utilities that you can use? What about production of goods? Is there a certain type of fruit maybe that you grow that you're known for? Maybe you grow watermelons or a different type of vegetable, or maybe you have something else that you're known for producing. What type of infrastructure does your city have? Does it have highways? Does it have bike tracks? Does it have a harbor or maybe bridges? Does it have a train or a bus station or both? Does it have tunnels? Are they underground? Does it have railways? So what kind of infrastructure does your city have? Just looking at this image here, we can see that here there's a lot of different type of infrastructure, right? So there might be an airport nearby. There might be a port here. We can see there's a bridge. There's a bike track. There's a park for people to do yoga and exercise. So different types of infrastructure here. Are there any famous landmarks in your cities? Is there a religious temple? Is there a mosque? Is there a church? Do you have some monuments of different historical leaders maybe? Or something that is symbolic of your city? Do you have a well-known town hall or a town square? Is there a really big library? Is there a commercial or a business district where everyone goes to work or to sell things in? So different types of landmarks that we can see here. What about surrounding areas? We don't often talk about surrounding areas, but sometimes our cities can be quite small, but the surrounding areas are really big. For example, some surrounding areas might be national parks. There might be a really famous national park where people come to your town to visit this national park. Maybe you're surrounded by small villages. Maybe you're surrounded by farms or the countryside. Maybe an industrial area where there's a lot of factories or a lot of plants. Are there a lot of hills or mountains, valleys or canyons? Do you have a lake nearby or a river or a water reservoir? So this word here, this is a French word, a French pronunciation with the O and I. It's wa, so reservoir. All right, so different areas and different cities have surrounding areas that are probably bigger or more famous, and often they bring in people to that area. What about the weather in your city? Is it tropical weather throughout the year? Or maybe it's cold weather throughout the year. Or maybe the weather is the same all year round. Okay? It's an average weather of like 25 degrees Celsius. So it's mild weather all year round. So using these expressions here. Maybe you get a white Christmas every year, right? So a white Christmas means that it snows during Christmas time. Maybe you experience 4 seasons in one day. So this means that the weather is very unpredictable, and one minute it can be sunny, and the next minute it can be cloudy, and then the minute after that it just starts pouring rain. So Melbourne, which is the city that I am from, it's my hometown, it's my home city, is very much a 4 seasons in one day type of city. So you'll often leave the house and it's sunny and you can be wearing summery clothes, and then within an hour it'll just start raining. So you always have an umbrella in the car, and you always have a cardigan or a jacket just in case the weather decides to do a 360 and change. Another expression or another sentence you could say, our summers are really hot and our winters are really cold. There is no in between or mild weather. All right. Some additional vocabulary. So you can have some green spaces. It can be a residential area, commercial district. You can have a friendly neighborhood. You can have some local amenities. Shops can be within walking distance. The streets can be tree-lined, so full of trees on the sides of the streets. There can be a lot of parking facilities, so areas where you can park your car. There can be built-up areas, so areas where there's a lot of buildings. Commuting hours, so the busy hours where people are commuting to and from work. So oftentimes it's from 8 till 10 in the morning and from 5 till 7 at night. These are the commuting hours. So this is probably when the city is the most busy and there is the most traffic in these hours. Some expressions related to cities and areas. Middle of nowhere. So this is an area that is rural and is completely isolated. It's not really near anything else, so hence why it's in the middle of nowhere. So we use this expression quite a bit in English. To paint the town red, this means to go out and have fun in the city, to go out to bars, to restaurants, maybe go watch a movie or a play. So to paint the town red. I'm going to paint the town red tonight. A melting pot, this is an area or a city that has people from different countries and diverse cultures that come together and they kind of develop their own type of culture or their own type of style. So they're a melting pot. So again, Melbourne would be considered a melting pot of different cultures. People from all walks of life go to Melbourne. You have people from different countries that live there. Hive of activity, so this is a place where a lot of things are happening and there's a lot of movement, okay? Everyone is doing something different. There's a lot of things happening at once. Hustle and bustle, again, there is a silent T in hustle and a silent T in bustle. So this is a city where there is a lot of activity and it's usually connected to a lot of noise as well, okay? So when you see those movies where there's those yellow cabs, and they're beeping and people are walking on the street. These are cities that have a lot of hustle and bustle. Another expression, paradise on earth or heaven on earth. So I think of the Maldives, or I think of those really beautiful Caribbean islands, those areas that are just so beautiful. They're so perfect and heavenly. So they almost feel like it's heaven on earth, or literally paradise on earth, okay? And if you live in that type of region, then you're very, very lucky. So yes, there you have it. And last but not least, how would you describe your city using these new words that you learnt, okay? So how would you describe your city? my city is located in the middle of nowhere, or my city is surrounded by farms or canyons or national parks. My city is very touristy. How would you describe your city? So look back at these new vocabulary and words that we learned and let me know in the comments how you would describe your city. I really enjoyed teaching you guys this lesson. Make sure to check out the links in my description box if you want to know more about my services and what I offer and how I can help you even more. All right, enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I will see you next week, Tuesday, same time. Bye.